Hello, everyone. This is the Boogie Down Beatdown. This is Tony Marcano here with my co-host.
As they call me, el hombre, el dueño, el Johnny Santos.
And El Johnny Santos will be performing at Puerto Rico for the CWA promotion over there. He's going to be racing against Los Mas. He's going to be wrestling against Los Mas Racing for the CWA tag team titles. Johnny, what are your words for them?
Well, first things first, this is actually a bigger event. It's not just CWA. It's also CWS, One Division Pro, Shadow Wrestling Alliance, BCW, Recombination Wrestling from here in New York City is also going to be part of it. So it's a huge event over there in San Juan, Puerto Rico. On Saturday the 13th, I will be facing Los Mas Racing for their vacant tag team titles. And just recently, me and Sebastian have decided to put up one of our tag team titles from one of the promotions in Massachusetts, known as New Age Wrestling. So it's going to be a winner-take-all match for that Saturday against Los Mas Racing. But my thoughts are pretty simple. We're going to win. I'm actually going to get some bottles, champagne. We're going to put them on ice. And we're going to win. It is what it is. The only problem that we are going to face, genuinely, is that Los Mas Racing, as they call themselves, are from Puerto Rico. So they have home court advantage, as one would say.
Do you feel intimidated about that home court advantage?
That's a great question. As Dominicans going into Puerto Rico, one would, but now I'm not intimidated at all. The last time we were there, we had a tag match with Bellito Calderon and Star Rogers, and we had a hell of a fight. They unfortunately won that match, but we did not go down without a fight. We had a fight into the crowd. That crowd did not touch us. That crowd is not going to touch us this time. Now we have a little bit more experience, and we're going to go up against Los Mas Racing, and we're going to take them down the only way we know how, and that's the first class way.
I know that the Puerto Rican crowd is very passionate. Do you think that you guys can develop a great affection for the crowd over there in Puerto Rico?
That can only be judged with time. This is only our second opportunity to be in front of that crowd. So only time will tell, truly. I don't have anything in particular negative to say against Puerto Rico and its people. I just know that Dominicans do almost everything better. And we're just going to be over there to prove that. If they get to love us, that's totally their decision to make.
So, as a tag team, how do you see First Class in the 5 years in the state of Puerto Rico?
In Puerto Rico in the next 5 years? For the next 5 years. Well, first things first, this weekend, the 13th and the 14th, and we also need to chime in the fact that we have another match on the 14th in the same weekend. We're going to be tag champs. And so ideally, we're going to win the titles, and then we're going to be tag team champions until for the next 5 years, forever, and we'll never lose. It's pretty self-explanatory, I believe, as far as our influence in the next 5 years in Puerto Rico. And of course, in a perfect world, we'll be signed into bigger platforms, bigger companies, maybe some TV deals here and there, me explico? Mm-hmm. So then we could take over perhaps different companies. And one may never know, but we're gonna go into Puerto Rico, 13th, 14th, and hopefully we never leave. As champions, of course.
So you guys have a big celebration planned. You said you have champagnes. You're gonna go and dominate over there?
The match has not happened yet, but I know we're going to win. So we're gonna get some bottles of champagne and we're gonna celebrate.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, sir.
Also, for the event, we are going to be wrestling at the Shad Adams Memorial Rumble alongside with your partner Sebastian Cage. That's a big opportunity, and it'll lead to possibly maybe championship runs. What are your thoughts on your match?
Rumbles are difficult, and it's a difficult circumstance as far as pro wrestling magic for that show in particular, because as you know, Sebastian and I in Magic are part of a larger group known as Los Hispanos Unidos, with Steve Peña, Azrael with Trey Felipe. We got JC Storm, Donovan, right? So all of us are going to be there. So in a perfect world, we'll work together and something positive will happen, but there can only be one winner, correct? Mm-hmm. With all of us there, I know Sebastian and I are going to be just fine working as a team. We're friends, best friends at the end of the day. However, there's been a little bit of issues, especially with Jared Diaz trying to join the crew, and he's also going to be in the Rumble. So ideally I win it, we get some gold, and we get it some more gold as we already have under first class, Hispanos Unidos. But I don't know what's gonna happen. I know for a fact, like I said, Sebastian and I are gonna work together, but I don't know if we're gonna be on the same page with Pena. I don't know if we're gonna be on the same page with Azrael. Trey, I know we're gonna be fine, but maybe he'll be a little bit too distracted once Jared comes in. Time will only tell for that Rumble in particular. But of course, at least if one of us win, it can only lead to more success.
So I sense a lot of dissension in the Hispanos Unidos group. Do you think that through like communication and time, you guys will get your things settled and join back together?
Of course, it's a family. I've only joined them shortly, maybe 4 months ago. But I already feel like I'm at home once I was there. But maybe a few months later, maybe a few weeks later, maybe shorter, Jared Diaz wanted to join. Jared Diaz is trying to help here and there, trying to add his little spice, his little adobo, his little sazon to what we're doing. And from my perspective, genuinely, it's only caused negative results. We've lost our trios, the Tri-Wizard titles with Trey, Sebastian, and I. Azrael lost the Dark Arts title, if I'm not mistaken. Pena also lost the big one against Kerr. And I genuinely feel like it's because we're being distracted by Jared Diaz and all these outside sort of, how would I phrase this? The outside influences of Jared Diaz. If it was up to me, we'll just ignore him, say no, and that's it. But I think Pena's been listening, Trey has been listening, and I don't think that should be happening. So there has been a little bit of infighting, unfortunately. But hopefully we persevere through January for the Rumble.
Also, in the tag team division, Death Row is facing Project Mayhem for the unification of the Tri-Wizard titles and the tag team titles. We feel disappointed that the Tri-Wizard titles are being unified along with the tag team titles.
I believe that it's always good to have an extra championship for more opportunities for all talent, and especially for first class, because we were a Tri-Wizard. Mm-hmm. We also deserve the tag team titles. Give us a shot. We'll take those belts. We'll take all the belts. It's really not a problem. So the more gold for us, the better. For Magic's Magic, as in the promotion, the company's perspective, I'm not sure. It's really their call. There are a few amount of titles. As far as I'm concerned, the more the merrier. But maybe there's another vision there. So I'm kind of split. Personally, selfishly, they should be around. But I'm not sure what the grand scheme of things in Pro Wrestling Magic is as far as those belts are concerned.
I believe it was the general manager Smiley who wanted to dissolve the Tri-Wizard titles. So I think you're beefing with Smiley. That's your name.
I am beefing with Smiley. I think I've been beefing with Smiley for a long time, genuinely. But ever since I came to Magic, especially, he's a general manager, and of course we beat his team for the Tri-Wizard belts, which thank you for giving us that opportunity. But he even changed, before we had our last match, Project Mayhem with Smiley, Elijah Eden, and 6V1, I don't know how to pronounce his name, and us, Trey Felipe, Sebastian Kaiser, the superstar, and I. He changed the rules right before the match even started. He just changed the rules, and that's a little ridiculous. So what can I do? If he's the boss, he's the boss. I can defy only so much, but he pays the bills. So I can beef with him all I want. If he's gonna dissolve it, he's gonna dissolve it, and hopefully we get an opportunity to get a shot at these newly minted titles of the Tri-Wizard plus the tag team titles.
Would you consider Smiley like a dictator type of character in the Magic Kingdom?
Dictator. Oh, that's a good question. There's a little bit of a totalitarianism. I'm pronouncing that wrong. About him, and that he wants to control all, and there's really no one to answer to but him. So maybe, yeah. I never thought of it that way. I think he's a dictatorship going on there, with his little three underlings with his girlfriend.
So there's similarities to Trujillo, and you might want to knock him down.
Trujillo. I think that's a bit rough. We're not there yet, and hopefully we never get there.
Okay. So going back to the CWA and Shadow show in Puerto Rico, would you say that you guys would look at the heavyweight division over there? I'm told Rodrigo Garcia is the big champion over there.
Yes, sir.
Any thoughts on Rodrigo Garcia?
He's I like him. He looks good. He's a champion for a reason. All I can really say is don't let Cuzzo be in the same room with him, because Cuzzo's better. Big Cuzzo being first class with us. He just needs to be careful. All the talent in Puerto Rico needs to be careful now that we're gonna be there more often. And then after we win the tag belts, we're bringing Cuzzo with us. So it's only gonna be a matter of time before Rodrigo has a new opponent. So he needs to be careful.
Sebastian Cage was in a Facebook Live conference with the CWA organization, and he was talking to the wrestlers of the other stable, La Industria. Any words for La Industria?
La Industria, they're a tag team, no?
Yes, a group.
They're a whole group, but we're coming in as a group. And even if there's not a very clear line that's crossed, a line in the sand, as one would say, saying, hey, we're on this side, you're on that side, be careful. It happens. It's gonna happen, and it's happening now. You're a group of guys who want what? Fame, glory, power, gold, money, women, whatever. But so are we. And there's only so much that can go around. And we're here to take it all. Bring it back to New York. We'll take it to Florida. We'll take it to Ohio. We'll take it wherever. And if you guys are just stuck in Puerto Rico, maybe going to Florida every now and again, they have to understand that we as a group are here to take everything that we can, especially if it's just there to be taken. And as far as I'm concerned, whether it's La Industria or Los Mas Racing or Rodrigo or anyone else, you got to be careful now that we're here. We're here to step on toes. We're not here to apologize. So any group that's presented in front of us is competition.
Interesting. It's a very collective-based thing over there in Puerto Rico. You see a lot of great groups in the history of Puerto Rico as well. Do you see First Class being in history immortalized in Puerto Rican wrestling's history as the big top group over there?
So immortalized. So you asked earlier about the 5-year plan, right? So now we're talking about everything after the fact, forever.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes. As long as we do what we need to do for the next 5 years, we're gonna be immortalized. We're gonna be remembered forever. Our names: El Johnny Santos, Sebastian Cage, Big Cuzzo. We also have Tony Leyenda in the back burner. He's down in South Jersey, Philly area. We're gonna bring him to Puerto Rico as well. All of First Class, Primera Clase, ODIFC. We're gonna be immortalized forever. Ideally, we'll get a few statues, maybe. You never know.
Are there in Ponce and San Juan?
Wherever is just fine for us. We're gonna cement our legacy. We're gonna cement it well.
Right here in Yankee Stadium, hopefully.
You never know. But ideally, what are we here in life to do? To be remembered, for the most part. We're ideally for something great, and we're doing great things. We're doing things that nobody's really doing at the moment. And people are going to remember. Now we just need to cement it over their heads so they don't forget our names.
Interesting. Also, in the wrestling promotion Invictus, would you see yourselves feuding over there with this big supergroup Genesis? What are your thoughts on Genesis?
We have, at the moment, we have a bigger fish to fry, at least I do, as you know, in the form of Matt Awesome and Jared Diaz, the Uptown Boys. But as long as they are, if they're on our way to get the tag belts, for example, or the heavyweight title, or any level of fame or glory that they're, like I said, there's only so much that can go around. There's only so much food that can go around for all of us. And we're hungry. So, once again, they are a group, we are a group, we need them out of the way so we can keep doing what we're doing. So as long as they're not in our way, we don't have to cross paths. But the moment we cross paths, the same thing is gonna happen, which was we were this close to winning with me, Cuzzo, Matt Awesome. We were this close, but Matt Awesome was in the match, so it was doomed to begin with. So we also had Gamble there, but Gamble I leave him alone because it wasn't his fight. It wasn't his fight. Yeah. So as far as Genesis is concerned, we beat them on many occasions. I don't think they want another ass whooping.
Interesting. Yes, a great team, and I'd love to see a great fight between First Class and Genesis in the near future at Invictus. So for We Are Wrestling, Sebastian Cage is going to be wrestling in the six-way scramble, and I think it's going to be an amazing match. I think Sebastian is going to show, Parkchester why he's the king of the six train. Your thoughts on that match?
First things, scrambles are difficult. 6 people, 6 styles. I personally despise being part of scrambles. You have to almost have eyes behind your head. You have to use every trick in the book. But not only is Sebastian the king of the six train, he's almost the king of the scramble. As am I, by the way. I did not bring my trophy. In the Squared Circle Megastars promotion in Chicago, I won my trophy last year as the king of the scramble. So I can probably help Sebastian with a thing or two as far as tackling multiple opponents at once. But also, Sebastian's been doing this for years. He's been in multi-mans for years. As long as he's smart and not even smart, as long as he just continues doing what he does, keeps the tunnel vision, victory, success, and hey man, I might even show up, give him a hand or two, even the odds. I think he will come out on top as he has usually done.
Yes, I do see that happening as, Sebastian has a lot of experience in six-way matches. You can see him on YouTube for the VXS promotion. He wrestled numerous times on six-ways there. I think he's the king, of the six-way in the Northeast.
I believe so too.
I see him winning that match. I foresee that.
I do too, unless something screwy happens. Like I said, I believe Elijah Eden is in that match, which is another association to Smiley. You have Matt Saxon, who's been around for a very long time. Sarah Jane, up and comer, big strong girl.
Of the Fallout Shelter.
Yeah, trained under the Fallout Shelter with Jorge Santi and all those guys down there.
Big Cuzzo, who's the champ of the.
Yes, he's also the champ there. So there's a lot of similarities, but as you can see, like I said, I have a little bit of experience. I can point him in the right direction. Cuzzo's been around a lot of those opponents. Maybe we could get him in the right direction. I can see him going on top. Sebastian all the way.
So here you have it now, folks. Johnny Santos sponsors his partner Sebastian Cage to win the six-way scramble. So do you see yourself having a big one-on-one confrontation with Matt Awesome like you did back in the day, or do you think it's strictly tag team?
I'll never say no to a fight, especially if you're gonna pay me. But I have a gripe with Matt Awesome. So, back in the BWF days, we were a tag team. We were rocking and rolling, and we just grew apart. It was pretty short-lived, but we grew apart. He didn't like the way I sort of split the group between him and I. And after the pandemic, we sort of got back together, spoke business. Things changed a little bit. We picked up Jared Diaz.
You were part of the Uptown.
I was part of the Uptown Boys.
For a short time period.
Very short time period, but we were doing some fun things during that time. Jared and Matt did their own thing, and then I'm hanging out with with Sebastian. And now we're tagging. So now things have sort of changed a little bit, only for things to come to a head at the We Are Wrestling show at the Bronx Brewery, where it was Matt Awesome, Cuzzo, Gamble, and I. And I believed that, just like any ex-girlfriend or something, right? You believe that they changed. But what I realized that he's a goofy schmuck, and he has not changed. And after we lost that match, I let him know that. I slapped him across the face, and Cuzzo and I had to deal with the problem. So as long as he stays on the opposite side of the room from me, while I do what I do and he does not get in my way, he can stay there. But I don't know what's gonna happen when I see him, if that makes any sense. So one-on-one, let's see what happens.
Maybe a lucha de apuestas match in the
Lucha
future?
de apuestas. I could put I'll put my luxurious locks against his crappy beard. Who cares? We'll figure it out as long as I win.
So would you shave him yourself, Matt Awesome?
I will shave him myself. I'm Dominican. I'm basically a barber.
You've done a lot of sponsorship for the First Class Barbershop over there at 1804 Archer. They love you over there?
They love me over there, and I've learned a few things from them. So if anything, after the match, I'll take him directly over there and I'll give him something nice. But I'm gonna bald him. I'm gonna give him a baldy. I'm gonna clear him up.
Nice. That's great to hear. And we love the organization of Invictus. It's a great organization. The Boogie Down Beatdown is looking towards doing a lot of great shows with them in the future. And also a shout out to the people over there at LA Fitness, a great trainer over there, Stas, who's a big fan of First Class. He's a big First Class fan.
Oh, that's great.
And he's looking forward to all the future shows that First Class is going to have here in the Bronx. And I'll have him over here in the podcast in the near future.
Great.
Big Johnny Santos fan.
Smart man.
Yeah, he's a fan of yours because he says that you remind him of the throwback legends like Terry Funk and Bret Hart.
That is a major compliment. So tell him next time you see him, I appreciate his support and thank you very much.
Yes. So Santos, you have a lot of, let's say, fans over there in Puerto Rico. Like any message to the fans of Puerto Rico? Even the guys that love the Rudos over there.
Para los fanáticos de Puerto Rico, prepárense. Porque aquí viene el hombre, el dueño, y como yo siempre digo, el Johnny Santos, el campeón con oro, y queremos más oro. Queremos oro, fama, poder y mujeres. Muchas mujeres bellas. Y yo sé que hay mucha bella allá en Puerto Rico, la isla del encanto. So please be ready for me. I'm ready for y'all. And todos más racing. And let's talk about the 14th before we finish up here. On the 14th is going to be First Class. I, Sebastian, Big Cuzzo against El Sensei and the newly, what are they called now?
West Side.
The West Side Mafia coming out of Puerto Rico. That's gonna be a big match. West Side Mafia, as they're quick as all hell. And then Sensei is called El Sensei for a reason. He throws kicks
very impressive at the show at Richfield at Shadow. A very impressive wrestler.
He had a phenomenal match at BXS in Los Angeles. Very impressive. He wrestled Dos Caras Jr., Mecha Wolf, Commander, and the gentleman from Japan, Jetfly. His name is not coming to mind right now. His face is, but he has a phenomenal showing, and he won that match, albeit not in a nice way, but he won that match. So he's very impressive. But once again, he's gonna be going up against us. First class, Big Cuzzo, the biggest man in the room, Elegido, Sebastian Cage, and I. We're bringing the heat. We're bringing the heat, and we're gonna bring it all the way home.
I see Big Cuzzo, yes, throwing Georgie around in that match.
He's gonna throw everybody around. He might even throw me around as long as I land onto one of those ding dongs. You know, we do what it takes to get the win.
Yeah, Georgie's gonna have to look forward to that TMD. It's going to be very destructive.
That TMD is gonna be a problem in that match. They need to be careful. Y si no saben lo que es TMD, they're gonna find out soon enough.
So a crazy move out there. Gonna woo all the ladies out there in Puerto Rico.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so also First Class is also wrestling for the Warriors promotion. You guys debuted as a tag team, you and Big Cuzzo. Any thoughts on like the Warriors promotion as a brand? The fans out there, they loved you out there. Any thoughts? What do you see you guys in the near future as a tag team?
Debuting at Warriors was fun. It's always good to be in the 5 boroughs. And that, like I said, that was our first time there. And we had a hell of a reception. And we had a good time. We brought what we bring, which is among ass kickings and gold and power and all that. We bring a good time. We like a good party. And that's what we brought to those people. And I think they received it pretty well. Watching the show from while I was there, I do believe Warriors can use someone like us, someone well seasoned, con un ching de sofrito, ajo, oregano. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Sazón.
that was a great match, man. I think that was an amazing match. And I'll see you guys on the next episode of Boogie Down, Beatdown.